Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Oschino the Don, and you can see the title of the video is Living with Vitiligo. So, to all my people out there that may have vitiligo, you're not alone. Trust and believe. I have been living with vitiligo for 12 years now. Well, coming up on 12 years, actually, in December. I was diagnosed with vitiligo December 7th, 2011. So it'll be coming up on 12 years. Whew. I'm not going to act like it's been easy. It's been a challenge. We live in a society where a lot of people are just fixated on how things look, the appearance, our appearance. And, I take pride in my appearance. And I'm not going to act like I've always had the mental strength that I do have now. It takes time. And when I was first diagnosed with vitiligo, I didn't have anybody really that I could look to for guidance and as far as how to deal with certain things or even knew what it was. My first vitiligo spot came on the corner of my mouth. It was like a little white patch. I'm like, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just like, well, why is my skin turning white right there? We hear birthmarks and things of that nature, but, vitiligo was a foreign thing to me. Now, along my journey, I learned so much about vitiligo. And disclaimer, vitiligo is not a skin disease, my people. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but I will say it until the world knows the difference between a skin disease and an autoimmune disease. You see, vitiligo is an autoimmune disease. It affects the pigmentation of your skin. And there is more than one type of vitiligo. I have what they call lip tip vitiligo, which, according to the experts, is the hardest form to treat/cure. So, throughout my life living with vitiligo, I had to learn how to adapt. And what I mean by adapt is if you can see my hands, see my thumb, almost all white right here. It is all white. So my hands are definitely affected. Now, why is that important? Why am I showing my hands? Because my hands obviously are pretty much always exposed to the sunlight. And without any pigmentation, you have absolutely no protection. Now, I'm not against sunscreen or things of that nature, but I absolutely do not like putting it on. And then, you come to find out that some of these sunscreens, or a lot of them, can cause cancer. So I was like, you know what? I want to avoid all sunscreen at all costs. So what I did was I did some research and I found out that there are hats and gloves and things of that nature that are UV protectant. So you can wear that and not have to put on any sunscreen to avoid getting sun damage to your skin. Now, vitiligo or not, I've worked in a dermatology office as a nurse, and I've learned more about the skin, obviously, working in a dermatology office than I have ever in my life. Obviously, your skin is your first line of defense from any bacteria, you name it. So, what you want to do is you always want to take care of your skin, vitiligo or not. You want to protect your skin. That means making sure that it's moisturized with lotion, because when your skin gets dry, that's portal for infection. So if you see me out here in 90-degree weather with some gloves on, just know I'm protecting myself. Now, when it comes to women and dating, I've had women who complimented me on my vitiligo, and I've had women who literally try to destroy me for something that I can't control. And it just shows you that regardless of what people think of you, you can't put too much into what they think. It only matters what you think. You have to love yourself regardless. A lot of these things we cannot control, or at least we don't have the information. Because I know that there's information out there that could actually help all of these autoimmune problems, mainly vitiligo. I mean, when you lose the pigmentation of your skin, even if you don't have a lot of melanin in you, you literally have zero where the vitiligo is. So zero protection from the sun. So even when I'm driving, I put my gloves on, particularly when the sun is like the UV is at its strongest, because that UV through the window is even stronger. So, when you're driving, definitely I advise everybody to wear gloves. I have a Facebook page that is dedicated to vitiligo. So please, y'all, go check that out and definitely share this video with those that have vitiligo, because I'm always here to help encourage, give y'all encouragement, and show you that regardless of what happens to your appearance, the most important thing is the essence of your soul. Just because we go through physical changes, it doesn't mean that that's who we are. That's what represents what we truly are in our essence. Because at the end of the day, how I see our bodies, they're literally astronaut suits. Because without them, we wouldn't be able to live. And our body itself literally protects who we are, which is the brain and the spinal cord, right? Now, I've been through some phases with vitiligo. I tried this concealer stuff that would match my skin and cover it up. But then I just realized for me personally how ridiculous that was. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna hide it. Why hide it when people out there are struggling with it and I could be a champion of vitiligo? I've been a spokesperson and an ambassador for a vitiligo concealer company. Now I'm all for people, like, if you want to conceal it, I support you. And if you don't, I support you either way. What a lot of people don't realize is the mental battles that we go through on a daily basis. You know, I mean, there's so many changes that the human body goes through physically. So then when you add on something like a skin color, and then you have like two different skin colors, that alone right there could, destroy somebody's own self-image. Because if you're already not confident in yourself and then you get something like vitiligo, I mean, that's just going to add on to the negativity that you feel about yourself. But it's like, why would you feel negative about yourself? Well, because of the society that we live in, right? But I'm here to change that. I'm one of these people that is focused on who you are as a person and not what you look like. I mean, if skin color was never an issue, well, I'm living proof, right? Now I'm talking for those that are not racist. If you're racist, skin color is always gonna matter to you. But I'm literally losing my skin color, right? Now I'm not saying that pigmentation isn't important, but I truly don't know where vitiligo actually comes from. They tell us it's an autoimmune disease that's associated with other autoimmune diseases. But my personal belief is, if you take a look at the world around us, right? Based on the pollution in the air, the pollution in the water, the pollution in our food supply, um, and also like the rubber soles of sneakers. Shout out to Forbidden Knowledge, Billy Carson and Elizabeth Hookstra. They did a video, I believe, some while ago, where it highlighted the correlation of autoimmune diseases and the introduction of rubber soles to sneakers. Now, scientifically proven, human beings are electrical beings. Our bodies only operate and can animate through the electricity, which, if I'm breaking it down, the dendrites, which send energy, the nerve endings, to each and every one. That's how the electricity moves through the body, and that's how we are able to animate. Now, think about the cell phone, right? Just the word itself, cell phone. Our bodies are literally made up of cells that carry information. So a cell phone carries a lot of information. When your cell phone is getting low on battery, you plug it back into the source, right? The source where it gets its energy to run from. Now, we're all earthlings, at least as far as we know, right? But either way, this is our home planet right now. And I found myself grounding And when I started grounding, I started feeling so much better. Not even just about myself, but like my overall energy. And it's like literally that's the plug back in. You have to plug yourself back into earth. You know, we're so caught up on this technology and all these distractions that take us further away from ourselves. So, I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey, I know the cure to vitiligo or things of that nature, but I do know a way to have more optimal health and to just have a better energy and better experience. I mean, literally, the radicals that are coming out of our body, if we plug back into the earth removes that from us and it helps us rebalance ourselves. So, I think that a lot of these autoimmune diseases are correlated with the people that run the show right now, right? The people that continuously poison the water, poison our food, poison the air. It wasn't always like this. I don't even know when the first case of vitiligo was around. They may have it documented, but it could have been here forever. I've learned that vitiligo was actually a genetic marker, allegedly, from the Anunnaki. So, I've done so much unlearning and relearning that you realize how much we've been programmed to accept everything that's been handed to us as far as when it comes to, oh, there's no cure for this and things of that. Like, I refuse to believe that. I believe that if you weren't born with something, you can reverse it. How? Well, that's what I'm on a mission to find out, people. Because if you're gonna ask me to be honest about vitiligo, if I could cure it, yeah, I would. I would love to cure it. If indeed that cure is natural or doesn't cause some other medical condition for me. Because who doesn't want to be, well, I'm not gonna say nobody, but a majority of us who have vitiligo did not ask for it. Nobody asked for it anyway, but a majority of us, if we could reverse it, yeah, we would want our full one color pigmentation body back. And that's just my opinion. There's some people that actually love it, and you know, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. But I'm also not gonna sit here and try to hide that I have vitiligo. I'm outward with it. I will never hide that I have vitiligo. And I want to just help those who have a hard time dealing with it. I mean, like I said, there's more than one type of vitiligo. Some people have, a lot more larger portions of vitiligo on their body than I do. But their situation, according to these scientists, is more treatable and curable. So, my best thing to recommend is like if you just want to be healthier overall, this may cost you some money, but you should get that blood test that shows exactly what your body is missing, what it needs more of. It's like a complete blood test, not a CMP, which is a complete metabolic panel. I'm talking about the complete blood test. Like it shows what you're allergic to, what you need more of. If you're really that serious. Because my people, there's nothing in this world that's a one-shot cure. These autoimmune diseases that we have took a while to develop. Now we have to do our job as individuals because not everybody has the same genetic makeup. And it could be a different reason why vitiligo decided to wanted to become undormant. Because I know there's a lot of viruses and genes that can be dormant for your whole life, or they can, express themselves. And vitiligo is only 1% of the world's population, and I am in that 1%. And the type of vitiligo that I have is 1% of that 1%. So I have the really, really rare type of vitiligo. And it's not like to brag or anything about it, but I say that to say that I'm going through it just like everybody else out there. And that's a part of why I wanted to build my platform is to not only talk about vitiligo and possible solutions to treat it and cure it, but also invite people on here to share their stories because everybody has a story. And you know, I'm so down to earth that like I know my story will help somebody, but somebody else could have a story where it might hit the person deeper. They could like how the person expresses themselves. They could like how they speak, their voice, what have you. I know all these things can play a part into helping somebody want to love themselves more. Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Like, there's nothing in this world anymore that can stop me from loving myself. I don't care what is cool in society. Because at the end of the day, that's just like another programming. I don't do what the next person does. I never have. I never followed the crowd. I was always the outlier, and like I said, everything is based on appearance. And a lot of people like, wow, man, I didn't expect you to be like that. Like, I'm like, well, what do you expect me to be like? I'm a human being that has a lot of humanity in them. And I actually do care about people. I don't make these videos like to get clout or to say, hey, look at me. Like, no, I'm dealing with something that only 1% of the world is dealing with. Let me repeat that for you. I'm dealing with something that only 1% of the world is dealing with. You have models like Winnie Harlow, who just by her being popular, it brings attention to vitiligo, but unlike her, I actually sit down and talk with people about it. I got time. I'll make time for it. It may not be a full hour or things of that nature. And if I can't directly connect with you, you can always come back to this video and play it. You got vitiligo? Cool. We in that 1% together. So we got our own community. You know what I'm saying? And I just want you guys to know that there's more than one way to protect yourself. You don't have to use sunscreen. I got UV clothing specifically because I love to be in the sun. So it's like, I got to make a sacrifice for being hot as hell. But, I refuse to get skin cancer because I didn't cover my vitiligo up. So, you know, you can't have everything, right? And, this is one of those things that show it, but there's ways to get around it. You can still enjoy the sun, and I'm telling y'all, like, when I walk in my neighborhood and I got gloves on, like, people may look at me, right? And it's like, hey, if you want to know why I'm wearing gloves, come up and ask me. I like to educate people. I don't want to be the person that assumes something and then come to find out like there's a medical reason why somebody is wearing gloves in a hot summer. I mean, I just feel like we can do a better job as human beings of informing people. Now, a lot of people want to be ignorant and they choose to be ignorant. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who genuinely want to learn. Like, wow, because there's so many. Online is a funny place. I get a lot of people that compliment me, but then I get a lot of people who try to tear me down. Try to talk about, oh, he's bleaching his skin, or oh, you get burnt? I mean, like that's some foul stuff to say to somebody and to assume like, did you get burnt? Like, really? I'm not gonna say anything like that. Now, like I said, my background is a lot different than most people. Like most people don't have a medical background. But even me and my medical background, I didn't know what vitiligo was until I got it. I had no idea what vitiligo was until I got it. And then I did some researching and I come to find out that Michael Jackson has that's the most famous person, period. And especially that had vitiligo. Now I know he spoke about it a few times. There's a few interviews where Michael Jackson speaks about it, but like I don't know if it's true if he indeed bleached his skin because a majority of it was taken over by vitiligo. So if that is the actual true case, I'm not gonna sit here and judge him. I understand. I totally understand. I totally get it. Like, no, I'm sorry. I don't know anybody that wants to have multi skin color because of vitiligo. Now, like I said, mine isn't as prevalent as others. As you can see, my hands are almost like all white, but like look at my arm, right? This is my, majority of my pigment is still here. So for those that, just want to be one color, I get it. And you'll never see me judge you because of it, because I can't live for you. You have to do what's right for you. You have to do what you feel you can deal with. And everybody has their own limits, everybody has their own perspective.